Hello, Herbert, godfather of the Honorable Glue Society, Herbert Erp. That's me. See? Look how honorable this glue is. It's part of a society. I hope you're doing well, Trekan. I'm gonna do more work on the turret because that's where the photo etch isn't. Hooper duper! Hey Corvus, how you doing? I realized that last time I could have got another vision device out, clipped one right off the sprue, and built the forward hatch bit, but I didn't, like an idiot. Very meh. Well, I'm disappointed to hear that. I hope the meh upgrades to a I'm okay. I make sure I'm getting the correct part here. They might be different. They're not. They might be different. Very honorable. We don't really need the inside part of this vision device so much. It's just as long as we got the little top bit, so that can poke out. There's also a collar. I've got the box sitting on my lap instead of to the side, so I don't have to rotate to reach anything. Guess you haven't heard about a madman killing half of the population of Germany. Good, so I didn't do that. So how am I? It could be worse. If that happens, I know who not to blame. Wouldn't be Trekan. Tough day at work and your back hurts, but your boss is taking tomorrow off and you're taking Thursday and Friday. Well, I hope you enjoy Thursday and Friday. I know the back hurts feeling and I haven't even done anything. I just woke up. I need an NG sprue. Which looks like this one. But it isn't this one, because this one doesn't have the bits I need on it. That's the one we want. Waking up is quite painful, I know. Not only are you like, oh man, not again, but then your body betrays you as well. It's like, have a good sleep, did you, body? Well, I'll take this. In other news, old man yells at cloud. Storm Clean is still in full swing and may be until the end of the month. Yeah, that shit can take a long time. Wrong sprue to you and your house. It wasn't the wrong sprue, technically. It was the correct sprue, just a different version of that sprue. Let's remove these nubbins because nubbins are bad, unless they're good. We can't have that nubbin on the ends there. I don't have the hatch part with which to test fit. Man. 99% of the area has power back. That's decent. 80% have internet. Man, no internet. The worst. PH5. Also the worst. Correct sprue, just a different version of that sprue to you and your house. Ah, yes. Is this kit 35th scale? It is 35th scale. It is a 35th scale T-34 85 WD5T. And I didn't say that directly into the microphone because I was looking at the box. Would you look at that? This contains all the parts we need for the cupola, I believe, including that one, which was bent on the sprue and just fell off. I can't tell if that's the same as this one. They are very similar. Oh, for fuck's sake. Went onto the chair and fell between the butt cushion and the side bit. So no carpet monster feeding. Not yet. Not today. I'm trying to tell if they are different parts, but they don't look it. They're not even on this page in the instructions. Want this one? There's also some clear vision devices that go into the hatch ring. I think I'll omit those because I'm not modeling my hatch open, and you won't see them through the little slits in the ring part. And that's going to make somebody very angry. Angry chair feeding? We don't have a counter for that. So, we're not feeding any chairs.
This is big brain time.
It is big brain time. If you keep the bottom of the box on your lap, it could act as a tray to catch falling. But that's where the box was. It fell beside the box. Might as well clip this out also. I have for a long time thought making an apron that contacts the desk would be the way to go, but I've never actually put any thought into actually doing that. Maybe one day I will. It would probably just become restrictive and annoying. Wouldn't be hard to do. There's a metal support along the bottom of the desk that I could just sew some magnets into some fabric to connect up, and that would be easy. But I'm lazy and don't have a sewing machine. Okay. I'm pretty sure, as with last time, it's going to be a better idea to glue
That's
the
what
top
she said.
She didn't say any of my ideas were good. It's gonna be easier to glue the top part in and then shove the vision device into that. So that's what I'm going to do. do that before cleaning the other bits up. I'm not going to video it because it's already been videoed, kind of. That ought to hold a little SOB. You see? Ah. That was a premature button pressing. It happens to us all sometimes. It's okay. Okay, that can bond. There's a couple of guide pins on the bottom of this, which is very nice. Very thoughtful. Make sure they line up. Oh, would you look at that? Just wonderful. You'd never see the, not even working inside the stream frame. You'd probably never see the clear bit through those holes. So I don't see the point in adding the transparent part. Excuse me, that was revolting. Have you built many Zvezda kits? I have built a bunch of Zvezda kits, mostly the snap together 100th scale 15mm ones. I haven't bought any for a long time because they're a Russian company, which one would be supporting Russia, and two has become a little more difficult of late. I'm trying not to slice off the opening for the vision hatches because they're very small and could easily be done. Surely they could just build the model without the nubbins, but they chose not to. I feel like I'm going to have to turn my air conditioner on this morning. Computer says it's 23 degrees. Which means it's probably closer to 26 in here. It's a big enough chunk that I could probably snip a little bit. Makes the knifing slightly easier. And if there's anything I want, it's easier knifing. There's a nubbin under there that needs to be not removed. I guess if I take any nicks out of this, it's not too bad. That's just Soviet construction. Trekan says, I have to confess. Confess your sins, my son. You did a FOMO purchase. What did you purchase? What were you worried about missing out on, my child? Looks good. Don't need the instruction to glue those two halves together, probably. Famous last words. Do need... Okay, so those two half... Not even half. Little doobers are identical according to the instruction. And they wouldn't lie to me through instruction. That would just be plain evil. We need the little ring part as well. One empty sprue straight in the dustbin. And by dustbin, I mean I don't want to throw it on the floor. I'll just leave it on the far side of my keyboard. That's as good a place as any for it. I'm just clicking some buttons on my computing machine. Hey, trains are great. You have a very accurate name. Speaking of not quite FOMO purchases like Trekan, but I made some train purchases. I have bought more signals. I was a bit undecided. I was thinking about getting the very expensive powered signals, but that's very expensive. That's why I said they were expensive. So I've got the small static regular signals on order. And I had to do that because last time I looked at that train website, they were not available. What's the FOMO? That's a jeweler's apron. Ah, I guess I could purchase a jeweler's apron. But that probably costs money. And I'm not a jeweler, they wouldn't allow it. They'd tell me no. Then I'd get sad. I can't quite tell if that's damaged or not. It's probably fine. I, for one, would enjoy seeing Herbert in an apron on stream. I mean, you wouldn't see much. Signals? Don't need no stinking signals. Let them crash like Gomez Adams. Well, at this point I couldn't because I don't have digital command control, but then neither did Gomez Adams. He must have done some special wiring for that. Whenever I try to drive them at each other, they just go in the same direction as each other. Working signals seems like a really fun idea, but I can't remember if it's 30 pounds or 60 pounds for a signal. British pounds, that is. And I can't justify that. Battlefront has some special army deals for D-Day and Market Garden. Didn't want one, and although they were good value, they're 103 euros still. It's a lot of money. But found one of the British paras for 88 euro, and one day I want to have the independent Polish Parachute Brigade in Flames of War, so I bought the box. I mean, that's fair. Now you've got them for when you do want to do them. And they won't be increasing in... I mean, they probably will, but yours won't increase in price because you've already bought it. Every now and then I'm tempted to buy more Flames of War. And then I say, hey Herbert, you need this or you need that. And I spend the money on this or that instead. Which is the smart thing to do, unless the this or that is just more garbage that you don't really need. I'm still pretty keen to try or to build the what do they call them? They're not... Are they mid-war monsters still? But like the really big, like the T-95 and things like that they put out in plastic. We've still got to stick the vision device into that. Also bought Signals, kind of. Album End Time Signals by Dark Tranquility. I've not heard that. I hope it's good. That reminds me I need to get my refund for the Rhapsody of Fire tickets that were postponed till unknown date in October 2025. Fucking dogs. That's like $80 that I could be spending on bits of plastic and not leaving in the hands of some promotion company that probably won't bring the band out at all. It's called Clash of Steel. That's right. World War II prototypes and late war paper tanks. I enjoy me some paper tanks, especially when it annoys people on the internet. I suspect Gomez Adams' trains were clockwork, so would happily drive at each other. Oh yeah. Only trains that I ever played with was from the 50s and clockwork. I remember when I was a small child, back in the 80s, the first trains I saw on cartoons were like the wind-up ones, where they'd have like silly railways and they'd be clockwork trains, and I wanted a clockwork train. And my mum told me I could have an electric train, and I was disappointed because it wasn't a clockwork train. I was stupid and probably like 4. It's all looking good. I think I'm ready to start some gluing. Have I lost that clear bit? No. Fuck, I'm stupid. I build and paint one mouse heavy tank for the range. Nice kit. Everybody likes a mouse. This seems almost in order. Yep, that'll do. It is, as I call, good enough. And hopefully that dangling down bit doesn't interfere with the rest of the hatch. Glory to you, and you are mouse. That's the wrong you're. Super King Tiger, kind of. I do enjoy those big, dumb, heavy tanks. Let's see if this is prepared. Prepared enough. Maybe I need to turn my body slightly this way. Blame the phone. I will. Fucking dog phones. Try not to knock that down because there's a bunch of pillows holding it up. No 35th scale Ogre Mark V Cyber Tank kit. Man, if there was, I might buy it. I'm not overly familiar with it, but it sounds like fun. I've heard of fun. That's in focus. I understand the kids enjoy videos that are in focus. I don't know if the camera can see those nubbins very well. Very well. Neither can I with my decrepit old Mark I eyeballs. This is the bit where I waffle about not feeling a need to put the actual clear bits in, because I don't. You enjoyed painting the mouse much more than you thought you would. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of fun because it's big flat surfaces, and you can do a lot of interesting things with big flat surfaces, surprisingly enough. Build a 35th scale Bob Semple tank. I'd love a Bob Semple kit. I don't think anyone makes one though. They should. I don't know who it is, who this they is, but they should. Sometime in the future, you'll paint the second mouse, of course, making a color scheme of your own. Hot pink and purple with bright green polka dots. That's exactly what you're going to do, and I know it. This looks like it has, that looks like it should be king, but it isn't. As best I can tell. Am I looking at this the wrong way? Or do I just guess? Do I just put it wherever I feel like? This does have a correct way it goes on. So... No, did the turret, the commander's hatch rotate on a T-34 85? Is that why you can just put this ring in any position you want? I don't know historical facts about tanks, because remembering things is hard. That's how I'm gonna do it. I do appreciate the weld beads molded around some of the parts in this kit. If you get the part sitting exactly right, they look really good. The problem is sometimes there's a little bit of space behind the weld bead, which doesn't quite look right. The turret did rotate. I believe you, and that's good enough for me. I'm still going to try and model it facing forwards, though. That does explain why there's no keying to stop this ring moving. So I'm applying my own keying. It's called glue. Am I going to have as much trouble with this hatch as the TKS hatch the other night? Probably not, I hope. I remember historical facts very well, i.e., I know that Australia was built by Coca-Cola in 1932 as a big storage space for future expansion in new markets. What a silly idea. They could have done that somewhere closer to everywhere else. Glue is the ultimate key, or would it be the ultimate lock? Why not both? Sometimes you can use glue to unlock glued bits. As you can see, it's not perfectly straight, and that's deliberate. I did that on purpose. That's not in line with the other one. Beck. I'm having some rapid glue evaporation, so maybe the thing to do, the smart thing to do, so not the typical Herbert thing, would be to glue these bits together and then stick them in. That way, it'll make sure the rear bit is aligned with the rest of it. Isn't this the perfectly straight and battle damage stream? Yes, it is now. I was just tricking. I did put it on perfectly straight. Doesn't seem to want to stay together very well. It doesn't have to stay together for too long, as long as it just plops on here properly. With no arguments. I don't want to hear any back talk. Turns out it is giving me more trouble than I'd expected. Much in the way that the TKS hatches did. Probably not quite as annoying though. Probably a tiny bit of space around the edge isn't the worst thing here. Ta-da! He says as he covers up the result with his thumb. I'm gonna say that's good enough for Soviet work. And there is another hatch, which is a single piece, a single-ish piece. There's a tiny little nubbin on there as well. It's not on the sprue that I've got out, of course. That's part number 10, but I can't tell it there. EA, right there. It's kind of annoying when they have the little letter tag somewhere in the middle. In my opinion, in my humble, correct opinion, it should always be on the outside edge. Not outside edge, but in a outside corner. The tiny little nubbin that's meant to be added is on the RE sprue. suspicious. Also not ready and prepared. Just so disorganized, Herbert. Give me a break, it's the morning. It's 10:30 in the morning. That's too early. I found an RG sprue. Look at the instructions to figure out what an RE sprue even looks like before I go searching. That might save a bit of time. Oh, it's the one that had the little vent thingies, whatever they're called. Probably called vents. It's not so tiny a piece. I've seen smaller. Can I even trim off the nubbin? I'm starting to think, no, I can't trim the nubbin off. And debating whether or not it's even worth trying. I think I got enough nubbin. Just a sliver. It's the one that has the doohickeys and thingamabobs. Not everybody knows the technical terms, though. I don't know if anybody heard that through the microphone, but I think somebody had a car crash outside or something. I heard a bang. Really more of a dull thud. Maybe I should check. Nah. Dare these nubbins be so persistent? What scale is that? It's 35th scale. Right, that looks 35th scale-ish, probably. Any smaller and we probably wouldn't have to deal with that little nubbin I just tried to clean up. That looks a bit hatch-like. I lost? No, I haven't lost the nubbin. It's probably easier to put this on and then add the nubbin. It's good. That's what we want. Who's a what's it? Who's a thingamabob? This is a job for Tweezers Man. There does seem to be a correct way around this little thingy can go. So I'm gonna try and do it right for once in my life. It seems to go in that little slot. Maybe it doesn't go in that little slot. It's hard to tell. Maybe it goes there. It does fit there very well. There's no after picture to show what it should look like. I do declare that I have it in the right place. I do declare. It's not in focus there. Okay. The green spot in the upper right of my cutting mat. I don't see any green spots in the upper right. Do you mean the left? I have my logo there. The rivet counters would be pleased. Damn it. Mr. MiniArt fooling Herbert. Mr. MiniArt is such a prankster. What a silly fellow. Instead of naming it with the alphabet, they use their own name. They've got alphabetical on here. This is HA. Ha. It's laughing at me. The next steps are internal details like the gun, which I don't feel a pressing need to build any of the internal components, really. Well, it looks like a wicker basket or something. All I need is the bits that will hold the gun in place. This is going to take a minor amount of brain power to figure out what I do and don't need. probably just these two bits, actually. And maybe a bit that holds the machine gun. Is the machine gun visible through the mantlet? I don't think it is, so we probably don't even need that. Let's build as little as possible. It is nice that they include the, well, at least the breech. I don't see any other, like, does the T-34 even have seats for the gunner and commander and so forth? It is nice that they've got the breech, so if you do want the hatches open, you can model them that way and it won't look empty. Even though I'm not doing that, I do appreciate options. You should speak into the microphone, Herbert. Who doesn't appreciate options? I get my clipper in there because they've put a bit of sprue there. Rude. Incredibly impolite. There's some internal hatch, a hinge detail rather, for the hatch I just put on. That's a good, thoughtful piece. Only applicable if you want it to be seen, though. You see, Ivan, if there are no seats, crew must keep standing. How awful. Standing up? Blah. I stood up once. Never again. Probably want to at least clean up this bit, which the nubbins might interfere with fitting later if you don't clean them up. I think I'm dying. Yeah, that's easy. That's not how that goes together. It's more like this. The glue god will be happy with my efforts. Using plenty of glue. Unnecessary levels of glue. Look how many steps of instructions we can just go right on past. Okay, is that... That's not polycaps. It does look moderately confusing, though. I'll work it out. Old Herbert can figure out anything. That's why they call you His Glueness, Herbert Erpaderp. They do. They do. And if they don't, well, can't say, but it's illegal. Much like in the song Beard Accessory Store by the Beards, where he lures his landlord inside his shop and locks the door. You can't say what he did to him, but it was against the law. Exactly. Lots of nubbins to get rid of here. I don't know why we need this. Actually, this is probably just to this probably just links in with the turret ring a bit. We don't need to clean up these nubbins on the inside too much. Let's get rid of them because I feel like they might interfere a bit. Oh, the spot where the white lines are gone from my mat. That's where I spilled glue. It basically just eats away at the whatever they use to print the markings. I mean, I probably could have maybe saved them by not rubbing the glue away. That's what that is. I've got a replacement mat with its markings intact. I've been meaning to swap it out, but, you know, that requires a modicum of effort. And it doesn't really make the cutting mat unfunctional. It still works fine. I guess I could test fit with the top of the turret. I was going to say wherever I've put it. It's right there. just to make sure this works good. Because there's some spots where I'm not quite sure if I'm getting this flat enough. Never seen that before. I guess I'm too neat. It's, yeah. I've knocked my glue over plenty of times. Actually, I've been thinking of designing and 3D printing a little holder for it, but again, lazy. Lazy and thoughtless. It doesn't occur to me until I spill the glue. But also when you've got like a camera here and glue like there, and it's very easy to not quite see where you're putting your hands. Seems pretty good. Let us Jeffrey it. Bit gappy in spots, I think. Doesn't seem to want to go together at the front. For whatever reason. I think this bit is interfering in some spots. Can we just tell it no? That almost seems better. Every time you say test fitting, you make Jeffrey sad. Well, I mean, Jeffrey just needs to get over it. He needs to realize that there's other words for things. And stop being so self-centered. Old self-centered Jeffrey. Ass shits. As long as there's enough there to function as a guide, and clip away a significant portion. Make a hole in a thick foam block and use... That's a good idea, actually. I got foam. It's under stuff, but I've got foam. I'd probably end up just spilling glue on the foam and obliterating it. I feel like there's probably going to be a bit of a gap around this no matter how well I build it. And that's the Soviet way. There should probably be a weld bead along there, but I may not model that on. Oops. Don't need to really worry about that right at this moment, because things could very well change once we get the once we put the gun doodattery in. That could introduce a whole new set of challenges. You've got foam? Nice. I've got towels. Man, you're prepared. Actually, some of the foam I've got on my desk has model railway track glued to it to be used as a ballast testing ground. Testing piece? A test bed? I got railway track foam. Wait just a fucking second. There are two of these. One of them is on the HA sprue. This one, which is shown in the instructions, is on the CB sprue. You can tell they're different by the way they look. Kinda. So we don't want the one I cut out. This is the correct part. Number 10, yes. Gotta properly clip it off if you want to remove it. CB4. I have thought about building dioramas, but I don't really have space to keep any dioramas, so I don't really do anything like that. It is tempting, especially as a way to test model railway techniques. Then I figure that's probably what the model railway is for, really. These parts aren't going to be visible, but I do think I should clean them up just to make sure they won't interfere with... No nubbins will interfere with their fit. Fucking nubbins and their dastardly ways. That is such a thin bit that I'm concerned it will break with even a tiny bit of pressure. That's probably neat enough. Talking of dioramas, have you seen the objective for Flames of War I made? I don't remember. I could have, I probably did. I remember you talking about it. Remembering things is hard when you're as old and crap as me. Okay, how does this work? Magnets? Miracles? That seems simple enough. Now the question is, do we need to install these before the rest of the bit? And how does the gun fit into this equation? The dispute about a car objective, I did see that. That was good. Making tiny little dioramas like that seems like a fun thing to me. I'm going to assume... Well, the instructions show these 3 bits being added to the bottom of the turret, and then the gun being added. So maybe you just get to configure it in. Who knows? I do know that we need this bit. I don't know if it has any particular orientation it should be in. Whether or not that has any impact on the gun. But it looks like this bit goes somewhere like that. And that's probably a mount for a control. There isn't any actual keying. Oh, there is keying. I found the keying. Or what looks to be keying. There's a little bit there. I'm just having trouble finding the corresponding bit on the ring. So maybe it isn't relevant. How important is this to the actual hull? Probably a little bit. It's a bit wibbly wobbly. Still a bit wibbly wobbly if you hold that there too. So maybe it's just not relevant at all. Mr. MiniArt is befuddling me again. It doesn't seem as though it just drops into place either. That's where it looks like the instructions actually want it. It doesn't want to go in properly. There is a tab there. Perhaps it goes like this. That's not what the instructions show, though. It actually does seem to fit like that now.
Ah, piss.
Precisely. Yeah, that's how it works. That's not what the instructions show. Fucking dogs. The instructions show it being dropped in from the top. By gum. That's a real doozy, Mr. MiniArt. You can see that. You would assume that instruction means that goes down into that. But you can't get it in that way. You have to have it up this way. That way the tab will, if you get it right, will go into the little slot for it. Mr. MiniArt! I should probably video that, shouldn't I? Should probably make that somewhat in focus. Hell yeah. This is like those as seen on TV ads where the person is doing the basic task incredibly incompetently. And then they show you the handy dandy convenient tool. Actually stays in place pretty well with friction. If you've got the tab in the right position. Probably should clean up the nubbins around the edge to make it fit even better. That ought to hold the little SOB. Why isn't it fitting as... Why isn't it cooperating as much as it did before? Is it just so that it's more annoying for me to video? Probably. It's all on purpose. It's all a conspiracy against Herbert. Just add some glue to make sure it stays where we want it. Probably. Make sure it stays where I think I want it. That ought to work. We didn't get any glue on the contact points, so it wouldn't stick to it. And now, I guess I glue these bits together. Am I doing this right? I wouldn't do it wrong. That would be silly. That's pretty simple. Once you figure out how it should sit. looks like it's in pretty straight and neat. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to hold the gun, or the breech of the gun. At least roughly where we want it. And this obviously goes on the other side. Two guide slots there. And the question is, I wish there was enough keying to actually hold it in place pretty well. Really, I think I should just glue it all in one. You've got that backwards, you blithering idiot. I guess that counts as a mistake. What a fool. Trying to figure out how this sits. I want the gun to be at a sensible angle. That's way too up. Beck! Having more obvious and stronger linking guide slots for this would be a lot easier too. Not the most enjoyable gun mantlet thingy that I've encountered. Kind of annoying, actually. Just gotta kind of hope it's in a good enough position. Doesn't seem like it is. Fucking stop moving. It's very flimsy to hold on to, and I can't see where the little slots are. So it's probably going to be absolute shit when it's together. To be honest, a gun mistake is the worst mistake. Probably. Okay, is that... The main thing is that it sits relatively flat that way and at a sensible enough angle. And won't just fall apart as soon as I try to attach the outer portion of the gun. Feck. Man, I need to learn how to hold on to things. It's so annoying and tedious to try and hold on to that I can't even get it to sit in the position on the thing. Is that actually interfering? I can't tell if I've got the gun in some ridiculous angle or not. I think I do. It should be more like that. You piece of fucking shit. That seems about right. Assuming I'm not messing things up too badly. I think I want to clip this corner off here to make it fit. And if it doesn't fit, boy howdy. That actually doesn't fit in against the front bit, which is annoying. Getting hungry, so I'm leaving. I'm hungry too. Thank you for dropping by, Trekan. I hope you have an excellent food. Thank you for the follow, Tommy the Templar. What's going on? I am struggling with the gun for a T-34 85. It's pretty crap. But otherwise, Doing good. I think that is basically what I want. Hesitant to glue it in because that's probably still going to shift. And leave that to bond. What time is it? That might be enough for today, actually. Still got to put the upper hull on. A turret, rather. There's an antenna and a gun. Ooh. And apparently... Nope, I didn't. Didn't miss the instruction for the hand railings. Those are there. I still, unfortunately, have to build thousands upon thousands of track links. And I'm not really looking forward to that. 3 brigades for black powder. Well, that sounds like fun. It was epic scale. I mean, that probably makes things a lot easier. It's almost midday for me, which probably explains why I'm getting hungry. So we've got that and that. This is probably going to be a pain to get together without any gaps once we've got the front bit in. But it looks good for now. Surely that's what matters. 28mm is the bane of the existence. I don't know about that. 28mm isn't that small. Okay, tomorrow I may or may not do a modeling stream in the evening. I might not be around in the evening. So instead, maybe depending on what happens, maybe I will do a gaming stream of some sort in the morning. I've got a hankering for Railroader, so I might play that. Too large? I don't know about that either. I feel like 28mm is a good scale. Depends on what you're doing with it, though. Like anything. I might see if there's someone to do a small raid at. Now that I've thought about food, I'm getting really hungry. I could probably eat an entire pizza. What a fat shit. Let us go and say hello to... I don't know if there's anybody I really want to raid on. I'm just gonna go. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, possibly same time as today, or possibly later in the evening. Don't know yet. Keep an eye out on Discord for notices, I guess. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Toodaloo!